And so to begin.
Yes.
My first and my last trial as a defense attorney.
Yes.
Aww.
Oh no!
That would be all of us.
Yep.
It's me! Coco, stand on my shoulders. We can get through this, I swear.
Ooh, okay.
But you don't appear to be wearing a bikini right now.
Is that wishful thinking?
He wishes.
Yes.
The courtroom is the garden of holy judgment.
Don't kink shame the judge.
I am kink shaming him.
Is this some sort of kick me sign stuck to the defense's bench?
Yes, you see all the
You
time.
put it there.
Yes,
You
exactly.
put it there.
I just realized Franziska's blue moon never stood a chance.
Shut the fuck up, Coco. You can't call me out like this. I have rights.
We must discuss thirst later.
You know what? I just... Hello everyone, and welcome back to 4 Pixels. Your pixels are here with guest Binks, and we are continuing Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. Let's see.
How far is it from your room to the inner temple? Let me think a moment. About 20 minutes on these stumps of mine. It's about 15 minutes to Dusky Bridge from Hazakura Temple. The inner temple is just beyond the bridge.
Still, you never made it back there that night, did you?
That's right. I was heading along the walkway toward the main hall. And as I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard. I took a look and... You say you heard a noise. Thump! Just like that.
That could only be the sound of the victim falling.
It's very quiet in the temple, you know. You can even hear the snow falling from the branches. Thump! Just like that.
But then, couldn't this noise you heard have been snow falling on the ground?
I never thought of that.
The next one to laugh gets a whipping. That means you, Binks.
Oh, fudge. Good thing I like whips. I mean, what?
I just scared Scott, apparently doing that line.
Well, whatever the source of the sound, I looked over at the courtyard and... Iris was... Oh, Mystic Elise! With that sword of all things! This is the second time that the witness has testified to seeing the defendant. But some doubt remains in these claims. Hey, just what does that mean? Just because you're a good-looking young man doesn't give you the right to... The murderer who stabbed the victim with a sword. Sister Bikini, try to recall exactly who it was you saw, as clearly as you can. Well, you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you. Now that you mention it. There was something awfully strange about her. Something that has been bugging me all this time. Please don't keep us in suspense. Her hood!
Her hood?
That's right! It's coming back to me. Iris! She wasn't wearing her hood. I thought something was out of place, but... It all makes sense now, doesn't it? After all, she'd given that hood away to someone, right? Ugh.
You've dug your own grave, Miles Edgeworth.
I'm fucking losing it. What do you say, Mr. Edgeworth? Is this testimony... testimony, yes. Is this testimony important?
It may initially appear to put me at disadvantage, but I can't see any other leads at the moment. Your Honor, I would like these new statements to be added to the testimony.
Miles Edgeworth. If you want to hang yourself, you need only ask. I'll gladly lend you my whip.
Oh! She's so rude. Witness, add that statement to your testimony.
No problem.
I love her.
Now that you mention it, Iris didn't have her hood on. You are sure about that? Yes. After all, we always wear the same clothes. I don't mean because we're poor, you understand. It's our style. Yes, that's it. There's absolutely no need to explain yourself. I mean, I'm rich and look what I wear all the time. Anyway, she looked different from normal, so that really stuck out.
Like me holding a Vibbit puppy instead of my whip.
I want to see that so bad.
Draw it, Moon! Bring it to life!
Oh crap. I can't draw dogs. I can't draw animals real good.
Oh.
I spent all my
Photoshop.
points to find anime characters.
You guys have Photoshop, you can do it.
Just photoshops a live puppy into the sprite.
At least then it might bite you and not someone else.
I'd be too afraid to.
It'd be like,
Aww.
Aww.
Well, that's what. Honestly, whippets are like so delicate. I think it would just be like kind of crying.
Actually, I don't know what those look like. Let's see.
They're. Do you know who Jenna Marbles is?
I know her, but I
Heard the name.
I haven't. Oh,
Kermit,
that's...
her dog, is a
Oh
whippet.
my god,
if I
they're so
recall.
thin.
Oh, it's those. Yeah.
Yeah, the little babies. They usually use them for the races.
Mhm.
But they have a very small version. I think it's a sub breed, but yeah, they're like painfully skinny.
Aw.
They just love to run. They're very cute. But if I remember right, they're kind of whiny dogs, and it's not like they're like suffering or anything. It's just they want to talk.
Oh. Iris didn't have her hood on. I'm sure of it.
Very well. Now, please tell us about the victim, eh?
Mystic Elise was staying in the corner room which faces out onto the courtyard. The room the victim was staying in overlooked the courtyard, correct?
Which means the victim's room was on the second floor?
No. Hazakura Temple is a single-story building.
What?
but the mountain itself slopes downward,
What?
which elevates the main gate side of the temple and the guest rooms in the back.
Oh, okay.
To about the height of a 2-story building. So are those like support beams or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
apparently. I thought it was just the back of the building.
Huh.
I see. And the victim was staying in one of these elevated rooms, correct?
Yes, I should know. I'm the one who carried her things to her room after all.
I feel really fucking sad.
Yeah.
The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out of her window. What makes you so sure of all this? It's just like I told you earlier. I heard a noise from the courtyard, okay? Thump, just like that.
You're one smart sister, I'll give you that. The autopsy report states that the victim's body was covered in bruises, indicating a fall from around 10 feet in height.
It appears that the witness was not mistaken then.
Yep, I'm more than just a pretty face, especially in winter. I'm a woman of faith, after all, the head honcho of Hazukura Temple.
I wanna hurt
There's
her.
only 2 working there.
What's wrong, Miles Edgeworth? No snappy comeback remark?
Doesn't feel like she's lying. This is very powerful testimony, too. She claims to have seen the instant in which the defendant stabbed the victim. There are only 2 things I can believe in right now. My client, Iris, and my own abilities as a defense attorney.
Oh, I just had a really spooky thought.
What?
What if Iris was just pulling the sword out of her back because someone else had stabbed her?
Interesting thought. I think it's this one. No. I'm actually not sure. I don't remember.
I would go back, look for another statement.
After she was pushed out. Okay.
There you go. Impressive logic. That's what I'd like to say, anyway. Oh, please do. My brain is something else, especially in winter. However, I think you are overlooking one thing. Miss von Karma, would you be so kind as to take another look at the autopsy report?
The autopsy report?
The victim did fall from a height of 10 feet. However, this fall was after she was killed.
That's right. It says after death right here.
The scene the witness claims to have seen is contradictory. If the defendant stabbed and killed the victim there in the courtyard, how did the victim then go on to take a 10-foot fall?
Order! Order! The victim was killed, then fell. If that is the case, then the victim must have been killed in her room. Don't you agree?
That is the logical conclusion. Yes, that's right. The victim must have been stabbed by the defendant in her own room. And then she was thrown out of her window down into the courtyard below.
Were there any signs of a struggle in Miss Donham's room? She was stabbed with a sword that would leave a bloodstain, wouldn't you agree?
Well, Miss Von Karma? Was there any blood? Wah!
No traces of blood were found in the victim's room.
Your whip has just caused traces of blood to be found on my glorious playoff beard. However, if there is no blood in the room, then you're... Ah!
I'm sure there's no need for me to go over this. As I'm sure your honor is well aware of when a stab wound produces the most blood.
When it produces the most blood? I gotta pause right here. It's so refreshing to kind of be in a trial that feels not like a fucking parody. Like, as much as an Ace Attorney game is a parody of what lawyering is, this one at least feels the most like real lawyering. Like nobody's fucking around like majorly. It's weird.
Other than Von Karma's whip, which is welcome.
That's practical. I think we should have more whips in court.
Well, only reason it's going so well, like you're saying, is because Phoenix isn't there.
That's true.
You know what? He's cursed. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Edgeworth, not, he doesn't have that problem. You alright? Coco?
No, because I'm remembering the case in the Edgeworth game I'm gonna have to do next. I hate it.
Oh,
You'll
no.
get through it. It will end eventually.
No, it won't, Pix. I'll be trapped. That's the only case in the entire series where I'm just like, I want this to end. Please.
I
This is
know.
extremely funny because I think 2 episodes ago I asked you, well, Coco, how do you like the game? Oh, it's fine. Now Coco is in tears.
Ah, I can't wait for you to finish it.
This is what Ace Attorney does to you.
Very little blood is actually lost at the moment of a blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when most blood would be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed.
Indeed, with the weapon still in place, it acts like a lid on the wound.
That's true. With the weapon still in the body, there wouldn't be much bleeding. A perfectly reasonable line of thinking. Honey, you gotta stop.
We have come to a conclusion then. Would you like to volunteer to be my desk moon?
No, I'm okay. Over here.
The victim was thrown out the window with the sword still in place. This removes all of the contradictions.
Order, order, order! I must admit that this is a probable version of events.
I'd expect no less from Franziska von Karma. She locates and takes control of every vital point.
It seems that we need a clearer testimony from the witness. Remove all supposition on your part and tell us only the truth, please.
Aww.
Witness, please remain standing on the crate. She's texting back there.
Don't go selling me short now. The weight of winter snow has bent me out of shape. Especially my back and my mood.
I love her.
Sister, please give us your testimony. I will give you a vigorous massage once we are finished here.
Oh my gosh.
With the whip? Oh boy. Alright, alright.
He's
I knew
like-
you were good, Bikini.
He's like, you know, I lean
Maybe
more
she swings
towards
both
men,
ways.
but
She got the multi-track drifting. I mean, multi-attraction.
When I looked across at the scene, the sword was already in place. Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mystic Elise. I've never seen so much blood before. That's when I fainted. You can't blame me, can you? And when I awoke, Mystic Army was stabbing Mystic Elise through the back.
This all confirms Miss Von Karma's theory.
Von Karma strive for nothing but perfection. Putting together such facts is nothing for me. You should know that, Miles Edgeworth.
She is an impossibility, Franziska von Karma. And I'm here to teach you just that. When I looked across at the scene, the sword was already in place. At that time, was the victim bleeding? Well, I was very shocked to be seeing all this, of course. So I'm not entirely sure. But I don't think I saw any blood. Not then.
I'm sure that you didn't. The weapon was acting as a plug in the wound.
In any case, let's be clear on one very important point. Did you actually see the instant in which the victim was stabbed? Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mystic Elise. Think carefully. This is very important. It's Iris we are talking about here. I'm thinking for all I'm worth. No, when I looked over, the sword was already in Mystic Elise's body.
he's thinking really hard.
He's buffering.
It might not be conclusive. This testimony supports her theory.
The victim was stabbed in her room and then dropped into the courtyard. I think this proves it rather well, Miles Edgeworth.
I've never seen so much blood before. So you're saying that you saw the victim's blood? That's right. Some of it had splattered onto Iris too.
When the defendant was arrested, she was meditating in her room, and her blood-flecked clothing was neatly folded in the corner.
What? The clothes were blood-flecked as well.
That seems quite conclusive to me.
What should I do? Press this point further. Going back to your previous statement. You said that you saw little bleeding when the victim was stabbed. But now you say you saw the victim bleeding. Well, I say that what I saw is what I saw.
Well, what did you see?
Maybe I didn't see the poor woman get stabbed. But I saw the girl pull the sword out of her, plain as day. Ah, Moon. Pulling the sword out. Well, it wasn't exactly pulling, it was more like it came out.
Witness, you will add this statement to your testimony.
Oh, was that important? More than you can imagine.
She's doing her best.
I saw the instant in which the blade plunged into the hilt was smoothly drawn out. Smoothly, you say? You're saying you saw the sword smoothly slide out. That's right. The whole thing happened right next to the gold statue of Mystic Army. Mystic Elise was on the ground, and Iris was stooped over her. The sword was buried up to the hilt.
This image is confusing.
When Iris stood up, the sword in her hand just slid out of Mystic Elise's body. It slid out from that gaping wound. Ah!
Goes without saying that if the sword was removed, there would be bleeding.
Nothing out of place here.
Is that really the case? I can't help but feel that something about this testimony is very out of place. That something which couldn't possibly have happened appears to have happened. I've never seen so much blood before. Was the bleeding caused by the killer removing the sword? No mistaking it. I remember it all, clear as day. Don't you think that's a bit odd?
What do you mean, Mouse Edgeworth?
Why would the killer pull out the sword?
What?
If all she wanted to do was place the weapon in the hand of the gold statue, then there was no reason to remove it from the body. All that would have accomplished is causing the victim to bleed unnecessarily. Your thoughts, Miss Von Karma?
That's...
Indeed, it is strange now that you mention it.
I'm going to need to find an answer to this mystery too.
Anyway, the witness saw something terrible. So what did you do after that, witness?
That's when I fainted. You can't blame me, can you? Now, on to what the killer did next. You saw none of it, correct? Well, I was unconscious.
How long were you out for?
I don't know. 10, maybe 20 minutes. A young man with a very prickly-looking head woke me up. By stepping on me, actually.
I'm not sure I like that method of resuscitation.
All this time,
Yeah.
we're always like, step on me when we think of someone hot, but not that.
Well, we're not here for resuscitation. That's a whole different ballpark.
Well, I wasn't asking for mouth-to-mouth or anything of the sort. But I would have welcomed a more gentle awakening right about then, let me tell you. I shall have words with the offender personally.
I'm sure you will.
What did you see upon awakening? And when I awoke, Mystic Army was stabbing Mystic Elise through the back. By Mystic Army, you are referring to the golden statue, correct? Just stabbing someone with a shichishito, sacred treasure, is terrible enough. But to then make Mystic Army hold the blade,
Truly a heinous, despicable crime.
it is easy to despise something. Anyone can do it. However, there is something that cannot be done so easily.
Whatever it is, I'm sure it's doubly hard for you. Anyway, what is the problem?
Exactly why would the killer set up this gruesome scene? Can anyone explain the reasoning behind that?
No, I think I'm Canadian. Anyway. You like my hockey beard? No, I don't think I can.
There isn't always a logical reason behind why someone acts.
That's true, so true. In early spring, for example, I often find myself. It isn't always. That phrase might come in handy someday. There are too many unnatural elements in this case. Why was it necessary to use the shichishito from the army statue as a weapon? Why was the weapon finally placed back in the hand of the statue? If I can expose the flaws in his testimony, perhaps then I will begin to find the truth. Sister Bikini, you are a reliable witness. At least I'd like to think so, but there are too many contradictions here. What do you mean? You make it sound as though I'm a liar. But you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you.
It's the only thing he's got going for him.
What contradictions are you talking about?
In the scene that the witness claims to have seen, the weapon was thrust up to its hilt into the victim. Furthermore, the killer withdrew the weapon smoothly from the body. However, both of these are complete impossibilities.
And with that, we will end this episode right here. Thank you guys for joining us, and see you next time.
Bye!
Bye bye.